What is up, everyone? I told you after the last video. What did I say at the end? I don't even know when my next video is going to be, and that's why you should subscribe and click the notifications and all that thing. Is this like a ploy to get you to subscribe, even though maybe you wouldn't? No, I'm not kidding. You never really know when I'm going to pull out one of these videos. Thought I was going to do this on Monday, but I learned that there were games on Friday. Before that NFL Futures episode that you guys should definitely check out, I said I had no clue that there were no games this week. I said, I'll see you on Monday for some I Hate Baseball. And then I learned there were no games till Friday. And that's why we're here. But it wasn't just a time to do nothing for all of us, because Josh apparently was hitting crazy all-star MVP bets.
They went over the weekend, right? So it was away for the ball tournament. Hit a 15-1 parlay first inning, like so early too, that we gave out in the Sniff chat. That hit Sunday. We had some plus money after the fact that Donkey and didn't hit the send on the first one, but we got the other one in. We got that plus money on those plays. We got a solid, the best bet that we had for the home run derby, Witt to make the semifinals there. Longest home run, Marcell Ozuna plus 450. That cash, that was a good one. I had a full unit on that. That was a good one. And then the All-Star game, like, Ohtani hits a home run, and you're like, it's his. He's the unicorn of the league. And I look up. I wasn't paying attention. There's Jared Duran. I just see Duran on his jersey in the back. I'm like, did I just win that? But I was just, I don't know. I was trying to, I didn't litter the board like maybe a roulette game, but instead I was looking for guys at the top of the order that were going to get 3 plate appearances. He didn't do it, but we lucked out, and that was 50-1. Some guys got 70-1 on it.
Hungry like the wolf. You got that Duran. Was it MVP?
Yeah, MVP, yeah.
And by the way, do they still award home field advantage based on who wins the All-Star? When did that stop? 2006?
I don't know. Yeah, they don't care anymore. That was the only thing keeping them caring.
So, the last time we had a show last week, another winning day, and I'd like to say I helped contribute to the funds with a couple of picks there. So now we're up over $1,000. We are at 1126. If every bet on this show is taken to win 100, you're up 1126. Not bad for the offseason, if you ask me. A couple of bills paid down there with 1126 won so far. I'll try to continue that today. Josh obviously has his nicely prepared deli sniffs. Mine, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna look on the charts. I'm gonna see something that won a bunch of times in a row, and then I'm gonna make the assessment if it's worth giving to you guys. And how am I gonna do that? I don't know, but I do know that people love betting on streaks. If you say this hit 12 in a row, they want to slam that button. So I'm just gonna provide you two more options, like I did last time. Now the problem is I don't know baseball. Sometimes I give a guy who's in and out of the lineup. I'm like, oh yeah, I think last time we took, do you remember I texted you? I said, did we win that pinch hit? But the guy has to start. It was, oh man, it was somebody to get half of a hit or something like that.
Before the books changed the ruling, you could do that. Like you could bet under hits on guys you would expect to pinch hit for and get one at bat, and you could win it. But they caught on to that.
How many? Well, like 5 years ago, or is this a recent revelation?
3-4 years ago too. You could get like stolen base guys too that would just come in and pinch run for like 45-1.
Oh yeah, Dave Roberts, who's now like a coach. I mean, that's the last pinch runner that I can probably muster in my head. And Dave Roberts obviously screwed the Yankees in 2004, changed the trajectory of Boston sports for decades to come. And now you're going to pick up what's left of these Yankees and give us a couple bets on them today. So what do you got for us? I think this first guy that you're giving, I saw. He's on the top 10. I don't know if you saw this, Alex, who's behind the 1s and 2s. This guy was deemed the 3rd most popular New York athlete. I don't know who he is. If I saw him at CBS, I would walk right by this guy. And he's number 3. Rogers wasn't even on the list. Anyway, off to your first Yankees pick, which is...
I'm assuming it's Soto and not Ben Rice, who's the most popular there. Yeah. I mean, Juan Soto bet on himself, and now he's basically going to be the 2nd highest paid baseball player after Ohtani when the year is done. But 1.5 Herbies, right? Hits, runs, RBIs. The guy's hitting out of the 2 spot. And there's a correlated play that we got with it too, which is Ben Rice, the guy hitting in front of him for 1.5 Herbies, 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at plus money. Put that together. If you could start the game 1-2, Ben Rice hit, double or hit and a stolen base, and then Soto cashes them in with a hit, there's 2 batters and you've cashed both of them right away. Probably won't happen, but the probability is small and it exists. But guys like Ben Rice, hitting at that top of the order, you want to talk about betting on opportunities. The guy gets 5 plate appearances in 70% of his last 10 games. If you can project a guy to get 5 plate appearances, the chances of doing something with those is obviously a lot better. It's a home game. He's facing Zac Efron, who Soto, over his career, is absolutely crushing 1.256 OPS over 31 at-bats with 10 RBIs. So like that stack, putting those guys together, and I know exactly what all the Dans are probably going to do with it. Slap it together, right? You know, you can set your watch to the Dans how they're going to put their stuff together.
It doesn't matter if we say it. We could give one pick for today and another pick for next week. If there are 2 picks involved, they're getting parlayed on a lot of the Pirates. Now, I have to correct your phrasing, by the way, for all of you watching. Dan, his wife allows him to bet. Like, I'm allowed to do one bet tonight, honey? Okay, and he takes the favorite thing. So Dan just took the Soto. He took the first thing we talked about. His wife doesn't let him watch the full videos. He eats 3 meals a day, 2,000-calorie diet, Friday movie at 8, the most regular Air Force One or Converse shoe, generic guy with a generic bet. He doesn't get exotic. He doesn't do all this crazy stuff. It's the Pirates that roam the deep seas who are looking for those, parlay high pay. They're looking for the pot of gold. They're looking for like the Davy Jones chest or wherever that compass leads in Pirates of the Caribbean. And they're going to be parlaying these together. So that's over 1.5. What did you call them? Herbie Hancocks?
Herbie Hancocks, bud. Hits, runs, and RBIs.
All right. So 1.5 Herbies. And then I'll tell you someone who isn't on the top 10 for New York sports. Go back to the last guy. They couldn't even muster up a picture of that guy. I mean, talk about me walking by Juan Soto and CVS and having no clue who he is. Now, you got Jerry Rice over here. No clue what he looks like. Is he a new player or something? How could they not have his photo? I mean,
Look at this fucking guy.
This is for the New York Yankees, the lead up. Did they pull some kid out of high school? Look at everyone has a younger brother that looks like that. Like this guy has major younger brother vibes. Like he did it. That looks like when Henry's coming out of court in Goodfellas when he takes the pinch for the first time. And everyone's like, hey, Henry, you pop your cherry. That's who Ray Rice over here is. And he has that look of a leadoff hitter. He looks like a speedy contact guy. So we have those 2, and then the pitcher, Alex, if you can show us that. What'd you say the guy's name was? Zac Efron, right?
Yeah, Zac Efron. But I know the Pirates will probably put them together, and those 2 together at 365 is plus 240. So they have correlated it a bit, but not really as much as they should. Plus 260 for the 2 of those guys. And you add Eflin to that, it's plus 450. I know you're probably going to do it all in the same game. But this is a good number, plus 110. We're on the All-Star game reset, right? Every bullpen is fresh. Every reliever is ready to go. I did the math the other day, or this morning, looking back last year. I think there were 20
Pirates. If you want to take all of them, maybe this is a time to do like a round robin type of thing.
There it is.
All right, just get yourself a chance to at least get your money back. If 2 of them hit or something like that, rather than parlaying all 3, round robin the guys. But make sure you have one single in there. I mean, have a little bit of a Dan in there. Anyway, sorry to cut you off.
Oh, it's all right. But the Eflin thing's got some greasy angles just because of the stack that we like at the top of that order, and then coming off a season high, pitches in his last one, bullpen's ready to go. He's 7-4 to the under on the road on this, and his splits, his ERA is 3 points higher on the road. The Yankees just saw him in his last start, and we talk about, you're going to talk about it later, like batters being off for so long and how long it takes to adapt. But because they just saw him, they actually have a better chance of getting to him because of that hitter familiarity. And I mean, this is a spot where I was saying 28 pitchers started last year, the game after the All-Star game. 11 made it to 6 innings, and only 1 went over 18 outs. And we'll get to one of those plays later, but don't expect pitchers to get very deep today.
I have a question. We got the king. Is this the thing that I saw online? Is this the ridiculous chart that I saw? Man, I don't think.
Keep going. You are so brave right now, Alex. That better be an
No, I don't think
incognito
this is
tab.
it. That puts Zibanejad on it. This is not it. This is not it.
There's one
Soto's
Soto
at
right there
2
too.
on this list. Yo,
Soto number 2.
9 months ago. All right, Jalen Brunson. I guess I heard of him because he went on that run. I mean, this shows you the state of New York sports. Josh Hart. I have no clue who that is. Have zero clue who Josh Hart is. So, I mean, at least I've heard of Jalen Brunson. Anyway, I had a quick question about the Yankees. Remember how in hockey you used to kind of not tell me to steer away from Toronto Maple Leafs bets, but you told me like, you got to pay the Maple Leafs premium if you want to take, I don't know, Tavares for a point or something because he's a member of the Leafs. The Leafs, I guess, are a heavily bet team, and the lines indicate that. Are the Yankees that?
That's where the term comes from. They call it a Yankee tax in betting. And it comes from guys having to pay to bet on the Yankees. But like you don't see it as much in prop. You see it more in money lines, yeah.
I just had that museum feeling when they were walking me around the Coliseum, even though I didn't believe half the things that they were saying. But I just have one of those moments. Is there like that's why it's called the Yankee tax? And then the people in the crowd, it's the Yankee tax. But really, we stumbled into an organic moment right there, because I would imagine the New York Yankees, you find a Yankee hat everywhere from Redondo Beach. I don't want to say up to Maine because they got Red Sox hat, but halfway up Connecticut, and you'd imagine that there was some sort of pricing worked into those. So then why don't we get away from the Yankees tax and give us, you always end us with a plus money play. And I think you dished one out for us today. Was it a pitcher?
Yeah, Kyle Harrison over 15.5 outs. I mean, 135, 365. That number's good. DK was plus 130, but the 128 is still good here. There's a bit of grease to it as well. This will be his third start. And when you come back after the IL, you kind of go fewer pitches, then you ramp up 10 plus pitches and you ramp up. So he went 72 pitches in his return to the lineup, then went 83 in his last start. So he should go 90 to 95 pitches today. We've been betting that Coors Park angle quite a bit this year. Hasn't really came to fruition, but the projection here is nice. His over strikeouts looks good too if you want it at a similar price, but he's already shown he went 7 innings on 86 pitches at Coors already this year, so he knows how to pitch there, and it's a pretty big number versus a dog shit lineup.
Yeah, I it's funny. I've noticed that most of our outs bets that we've given out are unders, so it's interesting to see an overs one. So
especially when the projections love unders at Coors. So like this is a floor-based bet that has a giant ceiling, so it's nice.
All right, well, yeah, it's not going to be the only plus money bet you're going to see, because I'm trying to get into the habit here of giving you guys a bet based on long streaks, because 75% of people like betting overs. I learned like that 3/4, essentially, maybe even a little more, of all bets are clicked on that O that you see on the screen. See that O 15.5? That means that 3 out of 4 of you watching this, you're so happy to bet this because it's an over. But you also like betting streaks, and I'm coming in with the arrogance from last video. Now, the worst part about it is I don't know any of these people. I'm going to have to make Josh figure out why my play is a decent play. But he already said something that I almost don't like to hear about these pitchers in the first game after All-Star break. Maybe they're not going to go as long as they typically would. My thought was that I know with hitting, I remember years ago, one of the things that screwed a lot of the best hitters in the league was the long layoff in between playoff rounds. It's almost like a goalie getting too much time off, where there'd be a guy who killed it in the ALDS or and then they would suck in the ALCS because they swept somebody in the ALDS and then have to, wait a week and a half for the next series to start. And it screws with all the hitters. So my thought was, first game up after All-Star break, take like unders on hitters and overs for pitchers, because maybe the hitters would be out of sync for not getting some real at bats for a while, because they're all creatures of habits, fixing their gloves, doing all that stuff, rain dances before they go up there, Pedro Serrano type stuff, eating the chicken. And I thought maybe it would be a good chance. So I'm going to start you off with a 10 in a row, over 10 in a row. I think it's even more than that. I think no clue 12, yeah. Who, I'm just going to call it Thairo? I don't know. Thairo? Mr. Estrada on the San Francisco Giants. You want to know what position he plays? I actually have no clue. He looks like a catcher to me. Thairo Estrada, the guy who looks like a catcher, but is what the hell is this guy, Josh? Do you know?
I think he's a middle infielder, maybe second base.
All right, little second baseman. This under 1.5 total bases has hit over 10 in a row. Was it 12 in a row? It was 10, 11, 12. Preposterous territory where it's like, all right, my worry as always is like hopping on that roulette wheel, that red streak is going, and now we got on at stop 8. And that always worries me, but it didn't screw us last time with that pitcher. So I'm going to try this one again here. The under 1.5 bases for Mr. Estrada, who I don't know who that is.
So there is a funnier angle too. Like he missed 1, 2, 3. He missed 8 games at the beginning of July, and then came back for 7 games. Obviously didn't get over this in any of those games, and then had to take a longer break. So he went injury, back to going, and then off again. So his routine's right off.
I love that because that means since that initial injury, he hasn't even found his form yet. So he hasn't had that first game. Will it come tonight? Pay to see it. -130 on Bet365. And I saw, I think, -135 on DraftKings. So that's going to be play 1 for old Andy. Yeah, that's right. Andy bringing plays to the board. And then the second one I got is a pitcher. Now, it worries me about people getting pulled early because Josh just said it. But this is one that's a pretty high plus money. We often talk about what this is in equivalent of hockey terms. This is a pretty big underdog on the road covering. But Tanner Bibee, the cousin of Mike Bibee, over 5.5 strikeouts, has hit in 9 of 10. So 9 of the last 10, you'd expect to see something. Well, all right, what is it? -115, +142 on Fanduel. And I also noticed that this was +120 on DraftKings, +115 on BetMGM. So not only are you getting the plus EV, man, that all the EV dreamers just, I don't know, they really get off on that plus EV. I mean, it's great. You know what I say? If I got a great plus EV, got a good price on that. But the plus EV guys are losing it over this. We're getting a great price. Lord knows if it's still there, but I just bet it right before we recorded. But Mike Bibee over here, over 5.5 strikeouts, +142 for the Tea and Crumpets funds. And we'll see if we can keep this above 1,000. Now that I got a little bit to spare, I'm going to try to keep this above 1,000. But it's been a pretty steady. I mean, what have we been on? A month and a half? And we're at 1,000? Not that bad.
16 units. Just did the math. Didn't do the All-Star game, but in my way, betting at least a unit on each play. 16.8 units so far on the Giving Out Plays at Patreon.
You hear that? You hear that? Plus 16 units. What's a unit? Nobody's ever going to know. Nobody's ever going to know what an actual unit is. I like the mystery about it. People just go, you got to throw a unit here, a unit there. That's why I dumbed it down for everyone. And as you can see, $71 to win 171 and some change. But Josh has been dealing out these winners on the Patreon, and that's very much appreciated. Puts them out nice and early, and I'd love to see you guys there nice and early. So if you want, every morning they're available from Josh. It's at patreon.com/Andy Francess. He has those posted. And then at some point throughout the afternoon, I'll add a couple streaks in. Am I encouraging you to bet that? No, just I like to bring them to your attention. And it has been that kind of summer where, I mean, it's been a great summer for me, obviously, with the way hockey ended and then going into this baseball and even having anything at all. So it's been a very productive summer. And I guess it wouldn't have happened if you didn't nudge me into this. So appreciate that, Josh. And
no worries. Checking out your boy Tanner Bibee. He has gone under six innings in those 10 games, and he's gone over in each one. So he has the ability to go over. He also has like 82 strikeouts over. He's striking a ton of people out. So I wish he didn't show you that. That's the guy you're backing. There you go.
The Birdman. All right.
There
Okay. What happened to that boy? He struck out 6 is what happened, hopefully, tonight. All right, guys, this was a little impromptu episode. I didn't know I was going to do this one, but now you have a couple bets heading into the weekend, and I will see you guys again on Monday for another round of I Hate Baseball, which I still do. Still do.